Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. There's a lie that has infected the minds of countless men, a belief that if you just make enough money, drive the right car, wear the right suit, or flash the right watch, you'll finally earn a woman's respect. But here's the truth. No one is brave enough to tell you respect from a woman isn't something you can buy. It's something you must embody. A man who is truly respected by women doesn't lead with his wallet. He leads with his mind, his discipline, his purpose, and his unwavering sense of self. The kind of respect that lasts doesn't come from riches, but from rich character. And in this video, we'll break down exactly what that means. We'll explore the real traits that make a woman see you as more than an option. How ancient wisdom has already laid the blueprint for masculine presence. What women respond to subconsciously even when they don't admit it. And how modern men can reclaim their self-worth, power, and identity in a world trying to strip it away. So if you've ever felt disrespected, overlooked, or like something's missing in your relationships, this is the video you've been waiting for. Comment below. What's one thing you believe makes a man truly respected by a woman, beyond money? And if you're ready to level up in your mind, your relationships, and your presence, like, subscribe, and share this video with a brother who needs to hear it. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The silent power of masculine identity. A woman's respect isn't earned by your bank account, it's earned by your presence. We live in a world where most men have become disconnected from their core. They chase money, success, and social status, not because they truly desire it, but because they've been told it will finally make them worthy of attention, of praise, of a woman's admiration. But here's what most don't understand. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have self-command, a woman may entertain you, but she will not respect you. Respect isn't loud, it's not begged for, it's not bought. Respect is earned in silence, through the way you carry yourself when no one's looking, through the way you lead yourself first before you attempt to lead anyone else. Let's go back. Ancient Sparta. Spartan men weren't admired for riches. They were admired for discipline, restraint, and power that didn't need to be constantly broadcast. They lived by code. They didn't need applause. They were trained to be dangerous, but they didn't flaunt it. That quiet confidence, that's what drew women to them. Fast forward to now. Too many modern men confuse attention for respect. They try to impress women with flashy distractions, hoping to be noticed, when in truth, what women truly long for is a man they can feel safe around, even in silence. A man with direction. A man whose energy calms a storm rather than creates one. Women are wired to test a man's center, to push emotionally, not always to hurt, but to feel if you're rooted. And if she finds that your foundation is weak, if your emotions sway with hers, if you lose yourself in her moods, her beauty, or her approval, she'll never look at you the same again. Because a man who doesn't lead himself can't lead her. And when a woman can't trust your frame, she can't trust your love. The truth is this. A man's internal identity is his fortress. It's built in quiet mornings when he rises before the sun. It's formed in rejection, forged through solitude, and shaped in sacrifice. It's held together not by how much he owns, but by how much he owns himself. This is why some of the most respected men in history lived simply. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Socrates, men who knew that power isn't in appearance, but in alignment. A man aligned with who he truly is will never chase validation. He will attract respect without asking for it. He will walk into a room and immediately be felt, not for what he wears, but for the energy he brings. So you must ask yourself honestly, do you know who you are when everything is stripped away, when you're alone in the dark, with no applause, no praise, no spotlight? What remains? If you don't know the answer yet, that's okay. Most men were never taught to ask, but now you've heard it. And now it's on you to begin. Women may admire your achievements, but they respect your essence. Money fades, looks fade, but presence? Presence leaves an imprint. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you've done lately to become a man worthy of respect? Let's build from the inside out. Chapter 2. Emotional Control. The Warrior's Calm. If you want to know whether a woman truly respects you, don't look at how affectionate she is when she's happy. Don't even focus on how often she praises you when things are going your way. Instead, watch her when she's emotional. Watch how she behaves when she's frustrated, overwhelmed, distant, or cold. And more importantly, watch yourself. Do you react? Do you raise your voice to match hers? Do you shut down and withdraw? Or do you remain grounded, stable in the storm like a mountain that does not move no matter how hard the winds blow? This is where real respect is born. Because women, especially the feminine ones, don't test you with logic. They test you emotionally. They push, not to destroy your masculinity, but to find out if it even exists. Not every test is conscious. Sometimes even she doesn't know why she's being moody, defensive, or distant. But something in her spirit wants to know, can I trust you to stay calm when I can't? Can you lead the energy between us when I spiral? Can you hold the frame when I drop mine? And here's what most men don't realize. You either pass that test or you fail it. There is no in between. Let's turn to the warriors of ancient times. In feudal Japan, the samurai were trained not just in battle, but in emotional stillness. In fact, part of their training was to remain composed under extreme pressure, humiliation, and even threats of death. Why? Because they understood that the most dangerous man is the one who is not enslaved by his emotions, the one who remains in control, not by suppressing his emotions, but by mastering them. That's what true emotional control is, not repression, not cold detachment, but command, discipline, strength. In the modern world, most men are emotional slaves without realizing it. They let their reactions define their relationships. One wrong word from her, and they spiral. One perceived rejection, and they collapse into insecurity, over-apologizing or lashing out. And guess what? Every time you do that, her respect for you dies a little more. It's not about perfection, it's about pattern. If she sees that she can provoke you easily, that you become reactive or unstable, she will never fully feel safe with you. And when a woman doesn't feel safe with a man, she stops trusting. When she stops trusting, she stops admiring. And when admiration fades, attraction soon follows. Now, this doesn't mean you become emotionless. Being stoic doesn't mean being numb. In fact, the strongest men are those who can feel everything and still choose their response. Anger rises, you breathe before speaking. Fear creeps in, you sit with it until clarity returns. She lashes out emotionally, you hold the space, not to dominate, but to stabilize. Because when you become emotionally stable, you become rare. You become the man who doesn't crack under pressure, the man who doesn't play emotional ping-pong with her feelings, the man who can take the chaos of her feminine energy and alchemize it into peace, not through force, but through presence. And let's be honest, there is nothing more attractive to a woman than a man who can stay calm in her storm. Not because she's trying to bring drama, but because life itself is unpredictable. She's not looking for someone who's always happy. She's looking for someone who doesn't collapse when things go wrong. Money can get her attention, sure, but this gets her loyalty, her softness, her trust, her respect. And the beauty of emotional mastery is this. It's not given by birth or luck. It's earned through daily habits, self-reflection, breathwork, solitude, suffering, and a refusal to let emotions hijack your leadership. So when you find yourself in a heated moment, pause, breathe. Let her emotions be hers and yours be yours. Respond as the grounded man, not the wounded boy, because in that moment, you are showing her something very few men ever show a woman. That you don't just have strength, you are strength. Drop a comment. What's one thing you do to keep your emotions in check when things get intense? Share it below. You never know which man needs your wisdom today. Chapter 3. Purpose. Over pleasure, why mission comes first. If you truly want a woman's respect, you need to stop making her the center of your world. That might sound harsh in a world that glorifies romantic obsession, but here's the truth few men will ever hear. A woman cannot fully respect a man whose purpose is her. Why? Because women are drawn, deeply and biologically, to directional men. Men who are going somewhere. Men who wake up with intention. Men whose lives already have structure, ambition, and a calling that doesn't rise or fall with her presence. The most respected men in history were not men who chased women. They were men who chased destiny. Think of Alexander the Great. He didn't conquer half the known world by spending his nights worrying about whether a woman was texting him back. Think of Leonidas of Sparta or the great Roman general Scipio Africanus. These men were revered not because they were obsessed with affection, but because they were obsessed with legacy. A man without a mission becomes a man without masculine gravity. And here's what women instinctively know, even if they never say it out loud. If a man gives up his mission for her, she becomes the new mission. And that burden will slowly kill her desire for him. She will smile, she might stay, but deep down she will know, this man needs me more than he needs himself. And that's when the respect begins to fade. A woman wants to feel chosen, yes, but not at the cost of your soul, not at the expense of your ambition, your routines, your purpose, your discipline. She wants to feel like she's with a powerful man, not that she's the one building him from scratch. And when a woman sees that you're deeply focused, when your phone stays silent during your training, your reading, your business building hours, when you're not always available because you're building something larger than yourself, that's when her respect grows. It's not because she wants to be ignored. It's because she wants to be with a man who doesn't need her to survive. A man who brings value to her life, but whose life already had structure and meaning before she arrived. This is one of the deepest male truths most modern men overlook. They've been raised to think that prioritizing their goals over their relationship is selfish. But it's not selfish, it's sacred. Your purpose is your North Star. Lose sight of it and you'll lose yourself, and her respect will follow. You want to inspire her, want her to look at you with wide eyes and soft admiration, then live like a man who's on a mission with or without her. And when you live this way, when you cultivate deep discipline, spiritual alignment, physical strength, financial direction, and emotional depth, then you become a magnet. You stop chasing, women feel it, and the right woman will want to be a part of that world, not become your whole world. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She just needs to know this man is becoming something, and nothing, not even me, will make him stop. Now imagine the power in that energy. You're no longer the man who loses himself in love. You're the man who remains unmoved by temptation, unshaken by emotion, and unbroken by loneliness, because your purpose comes before pleasure. And in that you become respected not just by women, but by other men, and most importantly, by yourself. Drop a comment below. What's your mission right now as a man? The more clear we are about our path, the more unstoppable we become. Chapter 4. Boundaries, standards, and the energy you allow. If there's one truth every man must internalize before he can be respected, not just by women, but by the world, it's this: you get what you allow. And if you allow disrespect, emotional chaos, manipulation, or inconsistent behavior from a woman, you will become the architect of your own misery. Not because she's evil, not because women are cruel, but because you didn't teach her how to treat you. Let's get this clear. A woman will only go as far as your boundaries allow. It's not her job to manage your standards, it's yours. And the moment you let things slide, when you tolerate the subtle digs, the hot and cold treatment, the cancelled plans, the crossed lines, you are silently telling her, this is okay. And from that moment on, respect dies a slow, silent death. Let's go back to ancient Rome, where the philosopher-emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." The Stoics believed that nothing, not love, not comfort, not even survival, was worth sacrificing the integrity of your inner world. But what does that mean today? It means this: the modern man must reclaim his inner authority. And that starts with having boundaries so firm they don't need to be announced, they're simply felt. A man with true standards doesn't over-explain. He doesn't beg to be understood. He doesn't try to fix a woman's behavior with lectures or long emotional talks. He simply chooses peace over attention, respect over comfort, standards over scarcity. Most men are afraid to do this because they fear being alone. They fear the silence that comes when a woman walks away because she couldn't meet the level. But let me tell you something, brother. A man who fears solitude will never be respected. Women don't admire a man who compromises his peace just to keep her close. They admire the man who will walk alone in the wilderness with his standards intact, rather than stay in emotional chaos just to feel chosen. And the wild part is this: when you operate like that, when you show that your self-respect is non-negotiable, she will often come back with more respect than before. Why? Because you've shown her what few men are capable of: discipline over desire. And that is incredibly rare. You want to be respected by women? Then you must master this truth. Attention is easy. Respect is earned. Attention comes from words, charm, money, style. But respect comes from the boundaries you uphold when it's hard. You can buy a woman's attention. You can charm your way into her body. But you cannot buy your way into her soul. That requires consistency, strength, and discipline. You set the tone. You teach her through your actions what kind of man you are. A man who allows anything is saying, "My peace doesn't matter. My self-worth is negotiable. I will sacrifice my values to keep you close." But a man who sets a firm boundary and then walks away when it's violated, that man becomes unforgettable. And yes, there will be moments of pain. Yes, you may lose people, but you will find yourself. And that's worth everything. Now understand this final truth. Not every woman is meant to respect you. Some are meant to test you, distract you, or even break you, so you can rebuild with stronger standards and deeper wisdom. Not every woman who leaves was a loss. Some were just lessons in disguise, lessons in self-worth, in boundaries, in emotional sovereignty. So don't fear the loss. Fear becoming the kind of man who needs to be liked so badly that he forgets how to lead. Fear becoming the man who bends until he breaks. You want peace? You want her admiration? You want her to look at you with deep, feminine reverence? Then hold your line. Set your boundaries, walk away when necessary, without drama, without noise, without explanation. Because a man who values himself never needs to prove it to anyone. His presence says it all. Drop a comment below. What's a boundary you've set that changed your relationships forever? Speak truth. Another man out there needs to hear it. Brother, if you've made it this far, know this: it's not by accident. You're not here because of some algorithm. You're here because deep down, you know that what you've been taught about manhood, respect, love, and relationships has been incomplete. The world has told you to chase money, attention, and external power. But what it failed to tell you is this: a man's true value is not in what he earns, but in what he embodies. You've now seen what truly earns a woman's respect. Not wealth, but identity. Not bravado, but emotional control. Not chasing her, but chasing your purpose. And not desperation to be chosen, but the strength to walk away when your peace is threatened. This isn't about being hard or heartless. It's about being rooted, unshakable, whole. Because the men who change the course of their lives, the men who are respected by women, admired by peers, and remembered long after they're gone, are not the ones who had the most. They're the ones who stood the tallest in their truth. So from this day forward, you walk differently. You don't just exist, you lead. You don't just react, you respond. You don't chase approval. You build presence. And when it gets hard, and it will, remember this: the most respected men in history weren't born with status or strength. They forged it through discipline, sacrifice, failure, and getting back up when no one was watching. You are no different, whether you're starting over, recovering from heartbreak, building something from nothing, or just waking up to your own worth. Know that this tribe, the Stoic Golden Tribe, is built for men like you. Men who are done playing small. Men who are done being emotionally manipulated. Men who are finally ready to reclaim their power and live as they were meant to, with calm intensity, with quiet dominance, with unbreakable presence. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What was the one thing from this video that hit you the deepest? What truth did you need to hear most? Let your voice be heard, because this is more than a video, it's a movement, a brotherhood of men remembering who they are. And if this message stirred something inside of you, if it reminded you of the man you're becoming, then don't let it stop here. Like the video, share it with a brother, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where we uncover the wisdom modern society refuses to teach men. Because this journey doesn't end here. It begins now.